The song, the duet that was not happening between my fountain pen and the paper. Hi everyone, this is Tina with Overall Adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. It's that time again where I need to start another notebook because I just finished one, so let's talk about it. These videos are going to follow the same format, which is I talk about the pros and cons of the old notebook, talk about first impressions of the new notebook, talk about any journaling goals I might have, and then we're gonna do a pen and a tea test for the new notebook. So I also just wanna give you some stats. So this is my 82nd journal. This is an A6. It is, let's see, 173 pages, and I finished it in 4 weeks. I'm gonna be really honest. I've got a pro list and I've got a con list, and my pro list is awfully short. But let's start with some positives. So to start, this is an A6 Midori notebook. This was a grid notebook. The main pro is the size. I just love this A6 size. It just fits really well in my hand. I just love the squareness of the pages, and don't come at me. I know it's not a square, it's still a rectangle, I know, but it's more boxy of a square than your kind of really narrow, kind of like standard notebook size. So I love this size. I really do. This size is working for me. Every time I write in an A6, I'm like, yes, I'm home. This is it. The color of the pages is pretty cool. It's like a creamy yellowy kind of color, which I really enjoyed. The construction of this notebook is just like superior. Like I feel like I could try to break it and I couldn't. It's got this really cool, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like textured tape binding here, like on top of what is already sewn. So it just feels super durable and secure. You could really throw this notebook around and it would be okay, which I love. I heavily collaged this notebook before I started writing into it, and that was super fun. So every few pages I had pasted some kind of piece of ephemera in there. And it was so nice to be able to like kind of look forward to that collage. And anytime there was a serendipitous moment where the collage that I had previously done matched up with something that I was currently going through or writing about in my life, there was like this sweet moment, which I really enjoyed. But I will say, because this notebook is so small, well, not so small, but like compared to an A5, it's definitely on the smaller side. The collage that I did definitely made it go faster. I think that's a big reason why I finished it in 4 weeks. Also another reason why I finished it in 4 weeks, because I didn't like it. So I wanted to move through this one because I was just not feeling it. But my last pro that I'll say is it does always lie flat, and that was nice. So let's get into the cons. The main con that got me with this book, with this notebook, was the combo, the song, the duet that was not happening between my fountain pen and the paper. And I think it's possibly because I was coming off of a Danica 58 notebook, which has like the chef's kiss of fountain pen paper. So I was already kind of like, I was peaking of like in my paper world. And then I came to this, which is probably just like an above average paper, which is great. But like to come to this from where I had high expectations, and oh my gosh, as like a sensitive person, like the scratchiness of my, and I think that's why I'm like a bold nib person, is because I can't stand the sound of like the scratchiness of pen on paper. It just gets me. So this whole experience was kind of, I'm not gonna go as far as saying nails on a chalkboard, but I think you get my drift here. It was just like the texture of the paper with this ink just they were not working together. They were not friends. And there was something about the ink, like the paper is fountain pen friendly in the sense that it does not bleed through and there's no ghosting whatsoever. Maybe like, yeah, there's really no ghosting, minimal ghosting. But the ink just like sits into the paper, which you don't see really any variation of the ink. It all ends up kind of looking like the same shade, and in my case, same shade of like blue, which knowing what it could look like in a Danica 58 notebook, it was just kind of like, I feel like I was missing out on all the color like variation that you get with better paper. So I was not feeling this, and I thought, like, what is wrong with me? Like I like in my head, I was like, I love Midori notebooks. How did I, like, and I recall using a Midori notebook before, so I pulled it out. This is my A5 Midori notebook that I used in 2018. And I remember this one because this is the notebook I was in when I got married. This was like a really special notebook to me. And you know what I realized? I didn't use fountain pen in this notebook. So my memory of how much I loved this notebook is based on my experience with a ballpoint pen on this paper, which is wildly different than fountain pen. So is this a great notebook? The construction is wonderful. If you are not a fountain pen person, or if it like doesn't really matter to you, like the texture, sound kind of thing, this is an amazing notebook. Like I said, it's solid. It is a solid notebook that you can't really beat it up. It just holds up really well, but I'm just not a fan of what happened here with the ink. Lastly, so this one was blank, the old one I had. I loved it, and I couldn't find a blank one in the store. So I ended up with grid, and man, the grid was so like blue. It was so dark. It was like, I feel like it was competing with my writing here. Like I kind of wish they would have toned back the color a little bit, but needless to say, I still had a good experience, got through it, but I'm ready for something new. So I will be transitioning from my old notebook into a Leuchtturm 1917. This is a pocket size. This is light pink, and it's called Powder. This bear is a really cute sticker that I got for my friend Bree at Documented Journey. Bears are my thing this year. I'm just into it. I was debating if I should go into the A5 size Leuchtturm that I have soft cover, which is Overall Adventures on it. So if you're interested in more of these, I do have a video on a bunch of Leuchtturm notebooks that I received. But I thought this one might be really nice to just use as my planning space for this channel. So, and since it says Overall Adventures, I'm like, come on, it's pretty cute. So I decided to go with the smaller size instead. But first impression wise, I know I love the paper. I've used this paper for many years now. It's just like buttery. I already know it's going to take the fountain pen super well. So my pet peeves about my previous notebook are going to be gone, and it's going to be lovely. Okay. But there are a couple things that I'm like, that are on my mind about this. One, okay, is, let me just tell you, it's 123 pages. It is, I didn't realize this, but the soft covers have less pages than the hard covers for some reason. So the hardcover pocket size is, or what they call A6 is 187. So we've got a significantly less amount of pages here. Also, they call this A6. Let me just show you. So it's A6 tall. Yes, but it's like significantly more narrow than an A6. So, and also the softcover is even more narrow than the hardcover. So I know that this is more rectangular, like narrow than I'm going to like. I know that, but I still think like there's something about this color, and it just makes me feel like summery, springy, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna enjoy this a lot. I think it's gonna go really fast though, so I think you're gonna see me again very soon talking about this, which I'm okay with. I think you're okay with. I think we're all okay with, but like this is, if this journal took me 4 weeks, this one, I don't even know. Maybe less. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And the last thing that I love about Leuchtturms, one is I love their blank pages. I love the color of their page, and I love that they always lie flat. So I've already gone through this notebook and I have rolled the cover, which I know probably makes some of you cringe, but I love feeling like it's already just like broken in and I can just like do whatever I want to it. I just love that feeling. And it already feels like it's ready for me. It's like ready to go. I just love it. Let's talk about some journaling goals that I have for this notebook. While I loved the collage that I did here, I think that this is, if I collage this, I think it's gonna go like really fast, like 2 weeks kind of fast. And that's just like, that's not enough time. So I don't think I'm gonna be collaging in this journal like I did the last one, just because like, where would I write, you know? So I don't think I'm gonna do that. But what I do think I'm gonna do instead is I have this collection of tabs that I've been really wanting to like use, but I just haven't gotten to it because when I'm in the moment, I just don't feel like taking out my washi and all my supplies and stuff. But my goal is gonna be to leave out my tabs so I can actually like use them and experiment with them. I think that would be kind of fun. And the other thing that I wanna do a little bit more in this notebook is I'm gonna play a little bit more with tarot. I don't talk about tarot at all on this channel, but I have had a tarot deck since I was in high school. I have the same deck. It is just, I love it, but I wouldn't say I'm like an expert by any means in tarot. It's just something I used to do in high school that I've like continued to do on and off throughout that, since that time. And since then I've seen a lot of people, and I have quite a few journaling friends that use tarot as like prompts in their journal, and I thought that would be super cool, and I kind of just want to dabble with that and try that a little bit this time around. I think that would be kind of fun and just change things up a little bit from my typical, you know, journaling style and routine, I suppose. So that is what I'm hoping to get into with this guy. It's just so cute. It's so cute. Let's jump into a tea test and a pen test. So I'm going to take the camera. Gum. So we've got our little cute bear. Oh, it's just so sweet. So I don't have anything in here yet. I haven't done any indexing or anything. I did like briefly do a pen test. This was with my blue black ink. And you can see there is some ghosting, but no bleed through, and it just doesn't bother me at all. Since I did this a couple days ago, I've actually refilled my pen. I did a little mix of this blue black, and I also mixed in this light purple that I got, and I'll link it all down below so that you can see if you're interested in this ink. But I thought it'd be just kind of fun to do. It's almost like a purplier blue. I'll put the actual color. I don't actually know. Hi, YouTube. Ooh. So you can see it actually a little bit more with the blue. See how like there's some parts of it that are like almost like a deeper navy and lighter at other parts depending on like where the pressure I use. This second one that I just did, it's actually, I'm not seeing as much variegation as I'd like. Maybe a little bit here at the end, but I also just refilled this, so it's kind of like, what's the word, clunky? But let's see. Yeah, so, you know, no bleed through, but definitely ghosting, but that doesn't really bother me. I know some people that really bothers, but I think this is so pretty. And the paper is just juicy. My cup of tea. I have done tea on Leuchtturm paper before, so I know it's going to be fine and it's going to hold up really well. Will it give me like a super crinkle? Nah, but it'll give me something. Clearly this ink is not archival, it's not waterproof, which I have some journaling friends who are really all about archival ink, which maybe I should probably get on that train, but man, I just love the pretty colors though. So if anyone has any recommendations, definitely let me know. Alrighty. So there you have it. That is my new journal. I'm very excited to get into it, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Peace.